Recording in progress.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Scio Township Planning Commission meeting of April 13th, 2006. Roll call, please.
Brandt.
Here.
Walsh. Here. Moore.
And we are expecting Commissioner Moore.
Hyde. Here. Culbertson.
Here.
Fletcher. Here. Kindle.
Here. Okay. Thank you. We have a quorum. Yeah, and adoption of the agenda. I think
there's a suggestion that we change item 8C1 to be in front of our discussions on public, on the data centers and the renewable energy and the workshop discussions. So that would be move 8C1 to after 8B1.
I'll support that. Okay, so support by Brandt. All right. I think we have a motion and support. So, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We will adopt the agenda as amended. Moving forward. Communications and correspondence. We did get a couple of late today before after the office closed, emails about short-term rentals. And Laura, I had a question about that and whether that would be a general ordinance or a zoning ordinance.
Typically, it's a general law ordinance. Okay. It would be something that the Planning Commission could assist the board in drafting, but it would be up to the board to enact something like that.
Okay. So what we'll do, we should probably forward that correspondence to the Board of Trustees.
Came to the board.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Okay.
Well, maybe not.
I think it was Planning Commission.
We'll make sure it comes to.
I was confused because I got it.
And then just an offer of, if they wanted assistance, great. But yeah. Okay. Great. We have no presentations this evening. Public comment. This portion of public comment is for anything that is not on a public hearing this evening. And it's just a general, anyone that wants to address the Planning Commission on anything other than the public hearing items. And just generally with public comment and public hearings, I'm going to just sort of announce it once since we have so many today. We'd like people to come up and introduce yourselves. You can sign in. And then we hope that people will keep their comments to about 3 minutes unless you're representing an organization. All right. With that, we'll start with people that are in the room and then we'll go online. So is anyone in the room here wishing to address the Planning Commission just generally? And come on up and let me put some chairs up there. I didn't realize you don't have any chairs at the table.
I can stand.
Yeah, you can stand too, or you can, but somebody may need a chair.
All right. I'm first on the sign-up sheet. I didn't presume to go in front of anyone.
There's no.
Okay. All right. So you know when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Bill Mayer. I'm a resident at 889 Honey Creek, which is about a 40-house neighborhood by Pratt and between Pratt and Dexter Ann Arbor. So with about 40 houses in our quiet neighborhood, currently we have 2 single-family homes that have been purchased and turned into Airbnbs. We're experiencing problematic behavior from the renters of those 2 Airbnbs. Things such as trash being strewn about, a lot of loud behavior, 2:30 in the morning, people walking down the street intoxicated. We're having people trespass, and not malicious trespass necessarily. There was an older gentleman with their child that went into one of our neighbors' backyard and went on their play structure, was playing on the play structure. Just general sort of, unruliness that you would not run into in a quiet neighborhood like we have. And the thing we're concerned about is we anticipate multiple homes being sold in maybe the next 5 to 10 years. We have an elderly population, and without any kind of regulatory framework around how many short-term rentals are allowed, how dense they can be. Can a single owner own 50, 100 of these things? We are asking, and I'm asking, and I hope that the township will consider, this will have an impact on our property value. It's going to push out single family home ownership in our neighborhood. And it honestly is already giving us a bit of a lower quality of life than we would normally expect in such a nice, sort of rural setting of our neighborhood. So if there is a regulatory framework that can be adopted for these short-term rentals, we would greatly appreciate that as a neighborhood. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And we will be sending the correspondence out to the board.
Of course, thank you.
Do you have the addresses?
Yes,
Because
because I second all that. Is it, do I need this thing?
What are the addresses? Because I'm on Airbnb right now.
Well, we can, if you want to email, you send the address.
Fourth, you've got,
It's a corner of Keebler and Joanne.
it's 4385 Joanne Drive and 4355 Joanne Drive. They're next door to each other, and they're both owned by the same owner. And he lives in a development nearby, 331. So I'm Linda Gintout, and I live at 756 Honey Creek Drive. I've been out of town for a couple of months, and I'm not witness to some of these particular incidents, but I have for a long time noticed one of them as an Airbnb. I didn't know it was an Airbnb. I found it peculiar that there would be 6 cars periodically, all the blinds down, a lot of young people coming out late in the day, like, it's a party pad. I knew it was a party pad. And so it's an Airbnb. Okay, found that out, then the same owner bought the one next door. And my thoughts, and I did sell real estate for a long time, not locally so much, but I really think, I really encourage Scio to come up with a policy and some regulation and give some thought to how dense, how many could be allowed in that kind of our residential neighborhood versus outlying more rural. And with a lot of space around them. How many visitors should be allowed, the capacity, and I know there are regulations with septic and all of that, but to monitor that, and how many could be owned by one person, and what could happen as a result. I think of values for buyers, families who need homes, and there's a shortage around Ann Arbor for young professional families, and if they're going to be outbid by investors making Airbnbs out of them, that's just not a good thing. I've seen it happen a lot in, tourist spots. It's become a problem for everyone. So a good thing to get ahead of. Unknown issues coming with it. Some were mentioned, fires, parties. I think of transient visitors as if my children were still little, that would bother me. You can't kind of keep track of who's there across the street. Class reunion parking on our dirt road or something, because it's a great spot to have a class reunion. Or game weekend. Those are the issues that came to mind, and I'd love you guys to give it some thought.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Right, yeah.
You can't do that with the
Yeah.
Washington County with the.
He's actually saying both properties can be rented at the same time for a family.
It's saying 16 guests and 10 bedrooms. Yeah.
And the other
There's
one?
no way.
The other one is 12 guests.
Sleeps 30 people. Yeah.
Wow.
No.
That's what the listing says.
The listing says so.
One house,
He's already got a problem because, if I were you also, I would go over to Washington County and talk to them over at the health department, because they'll get on it too.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, I'm Christy DeBurden. I live at 889 Honey Creek Drive, same neighborhood, same discussion. I just want to add that there are a number of us. It's not just like the 3 of us here, and I think you said you already got some emails about it today. There are a number of people in our neighborhood who are not happy about it. So we're just representing those people here, but it's not just us. Thanks.
I mean, it's one thing to have an Airbnb and do it within regulations of what the houses can handle and this, like you said, the septic, et cetera, what they're allowed to with the county. And it's another thing to sit here and say, you know, on their other house, it says 18, sleeps 18. So, you know, it just, you got 30 and 18. So that's just not going to fly with Washtenaw County right
It's
there.
been like that lately with like lots of cars.
Yeah, he's
and
got
Bigfoot, yeah.
the house set up that way. So that's really easy because, you know, I have a place out in Colorado that, you know, it's the same sort of thing that we have to deal with out there. And, you know, so it's, I'll get all the regulations for out there for it can be handled.
So is there a county court?
What?
Ordinance on that?
I mean, it's not a court, but I mean, it's the.
Ordinance.
Ordinance,
No.
not on Airbnbs,
No,
but on, I mean, it has to do with the septic system.
Short-term,
the
you can't have that many
capacity.
It also has to do with the building code, because
Yeah.
the building code
Building
only allows
code.
so many people
All kinds
per
of-
bedroom
yeah.
and et
Yeah,
cetera.
all kinds of issues here. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like.
There are a lot, the density, how many can a person own?
So I think there might be some, maybe our zoning compliance officer
Well, I
can
don't
talk
know
to
that there's
the
no,
county or
we don't have
whatever.
an ordinance, so we
Yeah.
have to go to the county for
I thought we
that,
used to have an ordinance.
not on short-term rentals. We do
No,
not
we
regulate,
didn't.
we don't regulate
It's
rentals
a
at
hot
all.
topic. There's some other communities that have.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but this one, it's the, more of the capacity piece.
Yeah, the capacity is a
Crazy.
county thing.
Well, thank you for bringing that up.
control.
Yes,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I mean, we wouldn't have known, you know.
Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't have known. Anyone online for public comment?
No.
Right?
Move to close. Public comment?
Okay, so Walsh, Brandt, any,
Kim, Moore.
oh, it was Kim, sorry, Moore? Correct, Moore. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public comment is closed at 6:13. Moving along, we have two sets of minutes. We have our minutes for the 3/9 meeting and just a documentation of the 3/23 no quorum meeting. All right,
So
yes,
we did not have a meeting,
right.
but we did allow the Huron River Watershed Council to do their presentation.
Yeah.
Do we still adopt?
I think we should just say that we adopt the documentation. They're not really minutes because it wasn't a meeting, but I think that would be appropriate. And we could do both of those together.
All right, I move to adopt the minutes dated March 9th of 2026, as well as the documentation of the no quorum meeting of March 23rd, 2026.
Okay. So we have Moore and Hindle. Moore and Hindle. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. They are approved as posted. Right, we're moving on to our public hearings. We have 3 public hearings this evening. Yes, 3. And so typically the way that the public hearings, mini agenda for the public hearings, we hear from the applicant or in another case, our planner with some basic information. We all share any clarifying questions from the Planning Commission, and then we open it up for public comment. And again, the same sort of 3-minute advisory. So with that, I'm going to open public hearing CU number 26001, Quick Trip Corp. Truck Stop Facilities and Fast Food Sales. And if the applicant will come up, and have you been able to, are you on the Zoom link?
Yeah, I don't really have much to share. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you've
don't
done the
wanna-
presentation a couple times, so that's fine. You can just, update us then.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't want to bore you guys with the same presentation.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm Skylar Evans. I'm the Quick Trip Project Manager. Address is 50 South Main Street, Naperville, Illinois. And then also our counsel is Todd Schubor.
Yeah, 39577 Woodward Avenue, Bloomfield Hills.
Do we get a readout?
If you want to, it's up to you. I can give an overview, and then if you want to add anything after that.
Yeah, I think that'd be
Probably
great.
most efficient.
Thank you.
Sure. Just so everyone's aware, this is a public hearing for Quick Trip conditional land use. Quick Trip is proposing a truck stop and fast food sales within their building at several properties that include 525 Baker Road, which is at the northwest intersection of Baker and I-94. We've heard presentations from Quick Trip a number of times. This is kind of the second application that is required to move through this process. This property was conditionally rezoned from single-family residential R1 to highway commercial C3 earlier this year. After receiving a variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals to allow for commercial uses that will not utilize municipal sewer. This will be on a septic system. The proposed land use is consistent with the master plan that is demonstrates this area as mixed-use highway commercial. In our report, we talk about some potential soil implications for septic erosion fields. That's something that typically can be handled through, an engineered bed or some other system. So we'll look for that information as part of the site plan when we get to that point. Probably the most critical information that's still needed for consideration of this conditional use permit is a positive review from MDOT. We understand that they're currently reviewing their traffic impact study, but the addition of additional truck traffic at this location, knowing that the Heritage Woods development had some significant concerns during that traffic study with just residential traffic, that might be something that the Planning Commission might consider asking for prior to recommending approval of this conditional use.
Well, that's a good idea.
Other than that, there were a few minor things that could be handled during site plan review. If you look at the last page of my report, there's kind of two recommendations. One is talking about recommending approval based on the satisfaction of the Planning Commission of these specific items, which include that the Planning Commission can impose use conditions to ensure compatibility with adjacent properties. That would be at your the things you would come up with during this meeting or at a future meeting. Having the applicant provide the estimated daily number of semi-trucks and how access will be provided to and from and throughout the site. We would like that positive review of traffic impact study from MDOT. There was a little discrepancy in the acreage of the preserved woodland area, very minor. The central access drive for truck traffic is required to be 36-foot width maximum, so that would have to be modified on the site plan. The specific uses for truck fueling facilities require truck fueling queuing to be shown, so we'd like to see that on the concept plan, preliminary site plan. And then additional information regarding whether trucks will be parked overnight, if they have restrictions on idling, those types of things would be pertinent for the Planning Commission to discuss. And then I'm pretty sure I know that there's going to be no outdoor storage of parts, but we just want that clarified in writing since it is part of the specific use standards in the ordinance. And then there are a number of items that are preliminary comments that would need to be addressed during site plan review, which includes the traffic study, fire marshal review of site access and circulation, information regarding the restricted driveway access, access easements allowing site access for each driveway along the private Heritage Woods Boulevard, whatever, I'm not sure what that road's called. We'd like to know that you have the appropriate received the appropriate permission to access that private road. The severe soil limitations that I noted for septic fields, and then township review and utility director review of utility connections. The septic facilities will be reviewed by the Washtenaw County Health Department. Water connections and stormwater will be reviewed by the township engineer, and then they'll be required to provide a PIP, which is a secondary protection facility to ensure that they don't have any contamination on the site as well. So, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
Just wanted to address a couple things. I'll hit on the traffic study and the semi-truck traffic here at the end. As Laura stated at the end of her summary there's some recommendations. Excuse me. So number 2 on that was estimated daily number of semi-trucks. So our traffic study shows 30 semi-trucks per day, maximum of 50, which equates out to 1.5 to 2 trucks per hour on a 24-hour basis. It's not going to be a super busy truck stop, and that's based off of the information that we've gathered from the traffic that's around the area, as well as what we see accessing Baker Road off the interstate. We do spend a significant amount of time doing traffic counts, and so do our traffic engineers, making sure that we understand what the viability actually is at the locations that we choose. So breaking it down to 1.5 trucks per hour, we just broke it down to out of a 24-hour period for the semi-truck traffic. We don't have a giant parking lot. We have 9 parking stalls, I believe, and for the overnight parking, we can put signs out there that state no overnight parking right behind the parking areas. No idling if that's something that the township would like to see. We can put those signs out there as well, just to ensure that the semi-truck traffic is within conformance of what Scio would like. The discrepancy on the preserved woodland area, so it's between 3.45 acres and 3.86 acres, really dependent on how the septic field has to work, but it shouldn't be no less than 3.45 acres to the tree preservation in that back section.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you meant. No more than your gas station / store premises can be that close, or to the woodlands, or how?
No. So there was previously we had 3.45 acres preserved for tree preservation. On this last one, we have 3.86. And that's really dependent on what, at the end of the day, what the soils dictate for us for the septic field. But will be no less than 3.45 acres dedicated to tree preservation, and up to 3.86. And then next thing is the central drive access. We're showing 40 feet. Typically we have 40 feet wide for truck traffic. It just makes the turning movements a lot easier, makes it safer for the truck drivers and people to get in and out. We can reduce that down to 36. We would prefer not to, but if needed, we can absolutely reduce that down and figure a way how to make that work best for the semi-truck drivers.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Skylar, I thought no semis were going in there, just straight trucks. Did I
Well,
misunderstand that?
Well, so it's 18-wheelers. I mean, I can't dictate who goes in. It's not like we can have somebody standing out there and saying no 18-wheelers coming in here. We are requesting for diesel bays to be there. That's very important for for the project in order for us to make the ends meet with the amount of septic that's going to be required and the amount of work and everything that's going to have to go into this. We do need diesel in order for us to make this work at the end of the day. for the outdoor storage of parts and supplies, typically we have water pallets outside, just outside the front door. We don't have to have that. We're perfectly fine with removing that option and stating that in the documents that come after this meeting for removal of all outside storage of goods. Yes, thank you. Next thing I wanted to touch on was the MDOT traffic study. So whenever we last talked to MDOT, one of the things that they state is they'll review our traffic study, but their jurisdiction only goes so far into the Heritage Woods Boulevard. So what we've done to help alleviate anything from MDOT's concerns based on our phone call that we had with them was we created a turnaround loon just past the last entrance there. So in case anybody does miss the turn, whether it's trucks or cars, they can go ahead and make a safe turn. That loon is there to allow that access without having any issues making that turn to get back to the side or back to the light on Baker Road. Go ahead.
I'll wait.
Okay. And then again, the first thing that was pointed out in this recommendation was the Planning Commission can impose use conditions. We agree with that, but again, the biggest reason why we're here today is because we do need diesel, which puts us into the category of truck stop, even though we don't have the truck stop amenities. So what those are, we don't have showers, we don't have laundry, we don't have a fleet program, that attracts the big, state-to-state truck drivers. Most of our truck traffic, which will be pretty minimal compared to some of the other truck stops that are along the interstate there, would be a little bit smaller just because of that in itself. We don't offer that rewards program that most of those truck drivers are used to. I think that's really all that I had. Todd, did you want to address some items?
I did most of it. Yeah, I mean, just generally, here again for truck stop, trucks not defined, and like you said, it could be big wheelers, 18-wheelers, could be box trucks, things like that of that nature, for the diesel fuel component underneath the truck stop. So that's really what we're here for, to get that additional diesel component, and viewed in light of the 6 criteria for a special use. I mean, we think it meets all 6 criteria to get a special use approval, and I think we're obviously here for questions and discussion.
Clarifying questions from?
Well, I must be going crazy because I recall discussion about no semi-trucks. I've understood your wish about diesel and stuff, but this is, so I do have a couple questions. One question I have for Laura, you mentioned, what is it? I wanted to make sure I didn't want to interrupt you. So the Quick Trip Corporation did a traffic study and MDOT is reviewing it. Is that what it is?
Yes, and the road commission will review it too.
Okay, and then MDOT said something to you or some?
So Stacy has actually been in contact with MDOT regarding this. I understood it. The last information I received from OHM was that it was still under review, that they had not issued any.
Yeah, they haven't issued any official review or comments yet, but we did get on a meeting with them and walk through our project with them, so that we knew what to address.
Is Stacy on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, did you have any updates at all?
No, I don't have anything else from MDOT other than what Laura said, just that I sent them our letter, so they were on notice of it, and then they said that it's still under review.
So I guess the statement, you said something about maybe we want to look at requiring these traffic studies a little sooner in the process.
No, so what I said was either as a condition of approval or as a condition to wait until you have that information to postpone until you have a positive letter, positive feedback from MDOT. I mean, it really goes nowhere if MDOT can't get a path. Right. So it really doesn't matter. It does matter. Timing matters for them, but you know, it's up to you.
No, I completely understand, because I live on Marshall Road, and I turn left onto Baker all the time, and I turn right onto Baker all the time. And I can tell you that there are a lot of trucks in that vicinity. There's some that are coming right out of that facility right on Marshall Road. Trucks coming out of the truck stops are coming down the road into the truck stops, and now we're going to have, but anyway, that's a whole, I'll get on that later. So you said you've done traffic counts on Baker Road?
Yes, yeah, it's.
So you're familiar with how it could get clogged?
It can get, yes, it can get busy. I mean, that's, well, you know, like our business model, we don't generate traffic, we capture the traffic that's already in the vicinity.
I understand, I was just saying, let's be honest about that.
Yeah.
You said something about getting it down to 1.5 trucks per hour. How do you do that?
So,
well, let me ask you this. Is it getting your traffic down to 1.5 trucks per hour coming into your facility?
So we're not getting any traffic counts down. We're predicting what we would be able to pull out of the current traffic that's there over a 24-hour period. And what we're showing is between 30 trucks and a maximum of 50 trucks per 24-hour period. So what that breaks down to is on an hour-by-hour basis, we're looking at 1.5 to 2 trucks on an hour-by-hour basis within our facility.
How do you survive on 1.5 trucks?
So the
Under the semis.
I know,
The
but
box
still,
trucks.
I know.
yeah, so
Even semi, I don't know.
the diesel component is
Even
really
the
there
large
to
box
help us make sense of the additional costs for the septic field and all the other requirements for the development. It's not that diesel is definitely not the end-all be-all of the project, but it is very important for us to be able to finance and make sure that this is an actual viable product for the company.
And why is
It's
that?
not. And you don't get the 1.5.
I'm sorry?
What happens to you all if you don't get the 1.5 trucks per hour?
It's
What
not
are you
a
gonna
good, yeah, it's not a good, honestly, it's
close
not
up?
a good thing. We won't close up, no.
And leave and, you know.
No, so we do believe in our kitchen. Our kitchen and our inside and our employees
They can go eat while they're
are
waiting.
they're the bread
It's
and
kind
butter
of
of
like
the
a
store.
Buc-ee's, a small Buc-ee's then.
The kitchen is very important to us.
I know, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, it's you know, we're investing a lot of time and a lot of money as a company into all of our stores, into the kitchen specifically. Gasoline and diesel they sell themselves.
5-star chefs or something? Or
we just have really good food. We're innovative.
Fried food.
We do have some fried food. Right now we have a jalapeno popper pizza that's actually really good. A lot of people don't kind of explore like we do with our fruit products, which is why we believe so much in it. But no, we won't shut down just because the diesel doesn't work like we think it does, if that ends up being the
Because
case.
you're not that large of a facility,
Right.
you know, and, you know, I don't want to see it close up and go away then.
Yeah, so whenever we go and we decide that we want to try to get an approval for a site, generally there's about 3 years of work that go into it before we come in. And That's, you know, studying the area, traveling up and down the interstate, everything around. And so we're putting in a $20 million facility is what it ends up coming out to.
That's 20 million?
You know, it's a very big investment for the company to come
So
in
you're not
here
gonna walk
and
away
do
from
this.
it.
So, yeah, it's and so what we're looking for, the diesel really just helps us make sense of the additional stuff that we wouldn't normally need to include in our projects.
Yeah, because it's not the most ideal for diesel, the big rigs to get into, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe it's for the horse trailers or something, you know?
yeah, the lawn equipment.
Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe it's better for them.
And, you know, we're looking at a 50-year period, not, 10 years, right? So.
Well, I like hearing that at least.
Yeah, so like the 1.5 to 2 trucks over a 50-year period definitely does
You can live off that then, okay.
equate to it, to kind of evening everything out
I
for
mean,
us.
that's good. I'd rather you say that than come to me and say, you need
Yeah, can we
30 trucks a day, an hour.
Yeah.
just some we want to keep the clarifying questions, because you will have a discussion afterward.
I have a clarifying question. You said you did a traffic study in what I'm assuming is the current traffic pattern. Does that include the forecasted traffic from Heritage Woods?
I believe we included the information from the traffic study that Stacy provided for us. We included that. We've worked very closely with Heritage Woods on making sure that our traffic study includes what they're predicting as far as traffic goes.
Did you provide us with a copy of the traffic study?
No.
Because I don't see that in my file.
We'll make sure that gets in there.
Please, thank you.
Any other clarifying questions? I just have a question. It appears that the impervious surface of that whole Heritage Woods Boulevard is being increased, which has ramifications for stormwater. And can you talk about who is taking responsibility for that? And Laura, how would that be handled? Because is that a change in the PUD? Is that a part of this site plan? Just how that might work. So you can answer the responsibility and then sort of the process.
It may help you a little bit, Laura. So what we're planning on doing is the changes that we're working through on the boulevard. We have space on our property to account for the additional stormwater, the taking away from the stormwater capture on the boulevard. It will be transferred over to the Quick Trip property, which will be on Quick Trip to do the changes in the boulevard, do all the requests with the commission, with everybody who's an approving authority for those changes, as well as working with Heritage Woods on making sure that those changes work with their plan as well. And then going back and making sure that the stormwater management is up to par for the regulations.
I guess I just assumed that Heritage Woods would have to be back in with a revision to their submission because it's their property.
Exactly.
We haven't, Stacy and I have not talked about that yet.
No.
And it's not, we're not there yet, right? We're still talking about conditional use, we're not talking about site plan, so it's been flagged and it's a discussion for when it comes back.
And the discussion about that issue comes along
During
well
site
after
plan.
our involvement.
No.
This is for conditional use. If and when the conditional use gets approved by the board, you make a recommendation and it goes to the board. They still have to come back for site plan review. And that's when we will review all the site.
And then I guess the other question, I think we've said quite a few times the idea of the semi-trucks not really being compatible with the Heritage Ridge and the Boulevard, and you've tried to accommodate them. And so it tells me that you don't think there's any way of restricting the semi-truck traffic
So, yeah.
by, you know, apps or signage or any of that being possible?
I'm, as far as like, it's very important for us to have the diesel component, and for us to, even if we put on our app, no semi-trucks, or even if we put no semi-truck signs out in front of the store, there's absolutely no way that we can enforce no semi-trucks. We could try, and we could try to work with the local law enforcement to do it, but with a diesel component attached to a convenience store, we don't want to take away from the police doing what they're supposed to in Scio and taking care of the township. We would rather not. We don't want to pull them and have them sitting on the parking lot trying to enforce the city, ordinance rule.
And any kind of signage at the light would have to be an MDOT sign, right?
Right, I mean, the only way to ensure there's no semi-trucks is to not allow the truck fueling. That's the only way.
And there's so much other diesel fueling that happens that's not semi-trucks.
Do you know offhand what percentage of semis, whether it's a fleet or whether it's owner-operator, have loyalty programs or have signed up and subscribed to loyalty programs? You don't have one.
Correct.
But I'm wondering, overall, from a semi perspective, is there any data out there that says X percent of the fleet has signed up because they then are unlikely to visit you?
Right, and that's that's one of those things where we kind of, I would say it's over 60% that are signed up for fleet. A lot of these big companies, that's the way that they're able to make their dollar go a little bit further, is to be on a fleet program. And those are typically through places like Flying J, TA, Loves, which there are some of those very close by. So, the semi-truck traffic that you guys are seeing, a majority of those individuals do have a fleet rewards program with the other truck stops that are nearby, and they will continue to pass Quick Trip over because they get a better, reward system through that fleet program that they're using with the other convenience stores. So that's, again, why our prediction on the truck traffic that we're having is low compared to what we would normally see in another area.
Yeah.
So if you are anticipating only 1 or 2 trucks per hour, why do you need so many diesel fueling stations?
It's a good question. The reason why we have so many diesel fueling pumps there is we want to make sure that they have the ability, whichever way that they come into the site, to make a safe turning movement so that they don't have to back up and readjust. The way that we have our bays set out, it allows for people to come in and be able to go into the bays. And it also allows for people to be able to pull up to the stop bar and get out and come and grab food, get their receipt, and then get back in their truck while somebody else comes in and pulls in behind them. That's kind of why we have the dimensions that we have. It allows for a lot safer movement throughout the site for everybody, whether it's people walking from their trucks to the store or if it's just trucks traversing through the site itself.
And to follow up on that, when you say the 30 to 50 per day, are those semi-trucks per day? Are they box trucks per day? Are they diesel use per day, all recreational vehicles, et cetera?
Yeah, so the way we predict what we're going to see is based off of diesel gallons, not necessarily what vehicle comes in. It's based off of the actual, this is a diesel vehicle, whether it's a commercial vehicle or tractor equipment, or whether it's an F-350. But it's all kind of decided upon how many diesel gallons we predict.
So that's all inclusive.
That is all inclusive.
Not just the
diesel
semi.
question.
Diesel customers, yes.
I have another follow-up question.
Okay.
You had your hand up
Go ahead.
I feel like you're not offering diesel semi-truck repairs.
Correct.
You don't have showers.
Correct.
You're not going to be real attractive to semi-trucks. You may end up with somebody, but I'm going to tell you, my sister has a 45-foot RV that they're now pulling with a semi-truck cab. That's gonna be a better place to go than a truck stop. They don't need service, they need fuel. And maybe go to the bathroom. And have somewhere where you're not having to jig and jog around to back up with something that big to try to back up safely to turn around to get to a pump. I don't think you're gonna draw as many semi-trucks, commercial trucks, as some people are concerned with. I really don't. I mean, if you've never been in a very large unit like my sister pulls around, I would never want to own one, hands down. But they do. That's their choice. But I'd rather go to where you are than to go across the street to Pilot, I think, is across the freeway from where you're, yep.
Okay.
Now it's not set up well for big RVs.
Okay.
No, and it's definitely geared more towards the fleet customer than what we are.
They used to have an RV pump there, and they don't anymore. They took it out, so they don't even have that feature anymore. You got to go in the back where the semi trucks go. If you have a large diesel rig you're pulling, a horse trailer, like Laura said, a big horse trailer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's go, let me continue with, I think we had one more clarifying question, and then we can get to public comment.
I was going to wait until the, it comes up again, but just talk about how you envision doubling up, people parking and going in, and then another semi would, or another diesel truck would pull in and wait in line for them. Makes me want to ask it now, and that is, have you generated a flow pattern diagram?
Yes.
You didn't provide one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one yet. So at some point in time, I think that would be important, because I'm getting a little confused about the markings on the pavement and what they actually mean. I think there's probably hash marks that aren't physical barriers.
Correct.
But they look like it in the plan. So if you had arrows showing.
Absolutely, yeah. We do have truck turning movements. We just got those
That'll be
updated.
later in the site plan review. That's fine, as long as you have it by then.
Yep, and so just for quick clarification for how we kind of see our stacking. So if you have the diesel bays, one truck can be pulled out in front. There's enough room for a truck to pull out of the diesel bay and park there to go inside and get their receipt. But it's like a 5-minute stop, and they're getting out, getting back in the truck and leaving the site. Then there's somebody that's able to fuel behind that person where they just left. And then there's one additional position behind that where somebody was waiting. They would still be within the lines of that single bay. So you have the ability to have 3 trucks stacked in one bay is there, which is included in.
Yeah, I see it here too, but it's, how do you get there? I want to see the
Yep.
flow pattern of how you actually get there, because I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
So I'm just
So we don't end up with another
wanting,
Panera
you
parking
think you've
lot.
got it, so I'm sure you can
Yes.
convince me.
Yep, I will make sure that stuff's included on, after this meeting, we'll get updated documents back into
You have
y'all.
to come in this way.
I see them drawn in there, but I don't see how they drive in there.
All right.
So the AutoCAD turning movement takes the biggest vehicle that is on the roadways, is what we really plan for, is the biggest vehicle. A lot of municipalities like to see their fire truck turning movements, but we try to go bigger, so that it equates for anything that could possibly come in. And so with that, it runs through the turns and the ability to come in around. So through the site, if you're coming in from the loom and you're turning around and you miss that very first right-hand turn movement, you can make the central curb cut. And what that does, it takes you in between the back of the building and the diesel bays, and that allows, there's enough room behind the diesel bays for that truck to make that turning movement and come in. But yes, we will
I can't
absolutely.
even follow you. I hear what you're saying.
I followed it, but I still want to see
Picture
it.
in my mind.
Yeah, I do have that in our slideshow, but I'll make sure that you guys have a copy of that whenever we get everything submitted back into Aura.
Thank you. I'm done.
Right. Any other clarifying questions? Okay, we'll move on to, then we'll invite the public to make their comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
So is there anyone in person that would like to address the planning commission on this. Yes, please come forward.
Thank you.
Please sign in.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of you. You work so hard. This is really time consuming. Thank you. I'm learning so much, but I'm still very much opposed to this project.
Please introduce yourself.
Mary Venturelli on Baker Road. So, I'm learning a lot. And again, my position is just too much. Actually, I kind of have to psych myself out when I leave my house just to go to Menards or go to Meijer. Because right now, I don't know if any of you really, is your name Kim?
Yes.
Okay, you're on Marshall. So
I definitely know what you're talking about.
it's like helter-skelter down there. I wouldn't want 1.5 more trucks down there. It's a mess. It's a mess on a nice day. I was there Friday. It was raining. What about the vehicles? There were 2 disabled vehicles on the ramp off of 94 to get onto Baker Road. You've got all that. And people, it's not like being on the freeway and you're all kind of maybe traveling in one direction. When you're there, you've got cars crossing Baker, going from the truck wash to across the street for whatever purpose, and vice versa. Then I see pedestrians crossing the street from the truck wash and wherever they're going. Our neighbors haven't even started moving in yet, at Heritage. That's going to be another bunch of traffic. It's just too dangerous. And, it's like we have 3, I don't know how we got 3 truck stops. Seems like a lot. And, I don't think we should, think, well, let's just keep them all isolated in one spot. I don't think that's a good plan either. So, and it seems like, I've only been here once before in January, but I've done a lot of research, and it seems that today there's kind of a major turning point here with the trucks. Well, what kind of a truck? Is it an 18-wheeler? Is it this? Or what are they're huge. And you've got the people in the smaller vehicles constantly trying to maneuver around the larger vehicles. So again, I say helter-skelter because it is a mess out there.
And once you get into the street, the road, the trucks are so long, there's lots of waiting time for clearance.
And I love the truck drivers. I've observed them, they can't get into the car wash when it's busy. So they park in the middle lane, waiting to turn left to get into the truck wash. People are parked, there's all these variables. It's not like a sunny day and everything is perfect. Or to look at a drawing and everything looks very nice. You have to get out there and see what is going on.
Thank you. If you could, are you all set?
Well, I think I've said everything. Am I 3 minutes up?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you for
really,
coming.
I do appreciate all the work that you do, and good luck. Thank you. I wish you'd go somewhere else. Sorry.
Hi, everyone. Rob Pattinson, Scio Township resident. I was very much against the Heritage Woods project, putting our elders right next to the highway.
Guys, let's make sure we're...
Putting our elders right next to the highway, I thought was not the best use of that property. Kim, at the beginning of the meeting, you talked about, you understood that the discussion was that there was no trucks.
No semi-trucks.
No, I'm sorry, no semi-trucks. But the way I remember the discussions last time, it was no semi-trucks on the Heritage Woods driveway. That was the no trucks part that I remember, or no 18-wheelers that I remember as part of that. I didn't remember that as being exclusive, to exclude that from the Quick Trip. So you guys might have a different recollection of that, but that was my recollection of that.
Well, the reason,
Kim?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead, please.
Neighbor Road is where we go to get gas, because that's where the competition is. And adding another truck stop there adds to the competition. That means cheaper gas for us. There's already 3 truck stops there. For that corner, like I said, the Heritage Woods proposal didn't make sense. The Quick Trip one does for that corner of 94 and Baker Road. And we enjoy the benefits of that because of the competition. Just to show you that I have some credibility, I lived in Georgia for 2 years. This is a Quick Trip cup. They have the best coffee, and their restaurant component of their stores is vastly different to BP and what are the yellow ones? Pilot. So there's something to be said for what they bring to the table.
Travel Plaza.
Travel Plaza, yeah. So
That 1 penny,
I'm sorry?
that 1 penny difference from Pilot to Travel Plaza. The gas.
We will go from Meyer to Pilot to save 5 cents a gallon, absolutely. But I'm Scottish, so I'm allowed.
So, thank you, Rob.
So the question is, my last part of my comments, what do you guys remember about the no 18-wheelers? Was it just the driveway, or was it to exclude it from the entire project?
They were going to have truck traffic, and the worry was that somebody would miss their turn and continue into the residential area proper. So that's why they've added. That's correct.
Right.
It wasn't to exclude them from Quick Trip. It was to keep them out of Heritage somehow, and they've added a turnaround.
And
we haven't considered that yet.
I see.
But they've added that.
Yeah.
So I would like to say that the discussions before was that there was not going to be, there were going to be straight trucks, smaller trucks, and there was not going to be. Now, obviously, we have different memories about that discussion, but now we are.
Keep it up.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Dave Spicer, Scio Township resident, 525 Baker Road. And I would just like to state too, is there any place near that intersection there where a person can get their electric vehicle charged at? The answer is no. No place. Quick Trip would offer electric chargers, which would be great for people, especially people that are moving down the highway someplace, or even close to town, and needs to go out to picnic or whatever, needs to charge their car up. And as far as traffic too with them, this young lady over here was talking about the semis down there at the truck wash down there. Maybe a lot of them won't go down there because they're going to go get some gas there maybe. I mean, we talk about traffic all the time. I lived on Baker Road for over 50 years. You want to talk about traffic? I think I know more about anybody does around here about traffic. Since they allowed all these truck stops to go in, I know you board didn't do it, but the other board let all these truck stops go in by Eugene and my house there, whatever, started in like 1974 and it never stopped. There's another one. Then there's another one. Then they had another one. So I know what's going on. I've been here for years. I think it'd be better if there was another one there. People could just scoot in there and scoot back out of there and not have to go down the road away and turn around and come back. And I think it would be a good way too. If Quick Trip gets in there, maybe these other people will step up and find out, you know what? We're not selling much gas anymore. I wonder why. Well, look at your place. It's a dump. And you all agree with that. Those places over there are dumps. They need to have somebody come in there and tell them to clean their stuff up, especially 76. Doesn't even have a restaurant there anymore. They closed that restaurant up. What's with that? Thank you. Well, I got to sign in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Is anyone else present that would like to address the Planning Commission on Quick Trips? All right. Then we'll move to our online community.
No.
All right.
Move to close public hearing on Quick Trip.
Okay, moved by Walsh, support by Fletcher. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and public comment is closed at 7 o'clock. All right, Thank you all.
So it's really closing the public hearing.
Public hearing, yes. So now we have two more public hearings. The
When
next
do we make our remarks?
later, when it
Oh,
comes
under
up
the
for
other
business.
section?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so we're moving on to the public hearing on data centers. We did have a draft ordinance posted, so if there's anyone, we'll go ahead and start with an overview with our planner.
Sure, so just a couple of modifications since our last discussion. Primarily under G on page 5, noise and vibration. Jan assisted me to find the appropriate noise, including daytime, nighttime, that are A-weighted, and then low frequency noise at all times that is C-weighted. We modified the renewable energy integration on page 7 to say 100% of the annual process energy will be generated through renewable energy resources, whether on-site or through power purchase agreements, renewable energy credits, or E-certified power programs. We also added that renewable energy procurement shall meet the requirements of the Michigan Commercial Energy Code, Appendix CC, with the addition of a utility renewable power contract or voluntary programs procurement factor of 1.0. On page 8, we added a waste management plan that talks about how construction waste will be handled and recycled. And then on page 13, there was a noise the noise evaluation was moved from an earlier under noise to just to be for the high resource demand facilities and large facilities, so that smaller or accessory facilities were encumbered by this additional fifth anniversary and additional certification of noise. And the rest you've seen multiple times.
Any clarifications for?
I have a question.
Yeah,
Laura, do we have a decibel figure attached to the noise?
Yep, it's under the noise component on page 5 and 6. Daytime is 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and the noise level not to be exceeded is 55 decibels at A-weighted range. And nighttime is defined between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. and it can't be louder than 45 decibels A-weighted. And then the low frequency noise at all times cannot be louder than 65 decibels C-weighted, and that's the humming.
Just a quick question, back to the decibels. Where are we measuring? At the property?
I believe that's what it says.
Yes. At the property of the neighbor?
The property
No,
line.
property line. It was just, I'm looking.
At the data center.
As measured
doesn't
at the property line.
It does say at the
center
property line,
property
yes.
line. So,
At the data center property
property
line?
line.
Yes.
And does it say the data center property line?
At the property line is what it says. So
Sorry,
it's
What page, where is that?
It's at the top of
Top
6.
6, yeah.
Focused on the decibels and not reading the line above.
So, do you think it would be wise to add the data center property line? Just add data center?
We can talk about that during discussion. Right now is the public hearing. So we're going to take comments on this.
I'm just
And
asking
then you're
what
going to
you do.
discuss it later.
Yeah, keep that as a discussion point. Thanks. Any other clarifying questions? All right, then we'll invite anyone who's present come up and address the planning commission.
Good evening. My name is Mark Altamare. This is for the people out there. I'm interested in data centers because there's big money involved and things are moving very quickly. And I know I'm coming late to the party here in front of you all. You obviously have done a lot of work already, studies and taking in certain concerns that are bound to be affecting our citizens. But I'm sure you also know that there was bipartisan legislation introduced in February in our state house to propose a moratorium and halt the state and local permits for data centers for a year, basically, until April 1st next year. And I think that's a really good idea, and I couldn't tell from your package. I saw a lot of the things that you were doing, but I couldn't tell if it had taken into account that proposed legislation and whether you were doing the studies that were recommended and moving forward to a decision, or whether you're doing the studies and also taking the time. So my recommendation is to slow down. There's a lot of pros and there's a lot of cons to this sort of a project. The pros are really good: economic activity, growth, jobs, all of those things. But I believe none of them will be negatively impacted by waiting. I think it makes sense to take time, because the cons are also significant, and if you rush into them and things change rapidly, and I don't know about you all, but I'm starting to get really scared of AI and how fast AI is moving. And AI is moving a lot faster than data centers, and to the point where I'm reading now that AI is going to redesign data centers and reduce the load and completely change the entire specs on these things before you can even build the first one. So I just want to say, I think all the work you're doing is right on, but I would also encourage you to take into account that these bills, there's 3 bills, might pass, and you might need to pause anyway, so take your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Did I introduce myself? I don't know.
You did. You did,
I got to
Mark.
sign in though.
Okay, yeah, and there will be a sheet just on the data centers to sign. Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to address on data centers? Come on up.
Rob Pattinson, Scio Township resident. First of all, Laura, you have been the key to getting this done quickly. Thank you very much for that. And to all of you, thank you. There's been a lot of heartache. There's an article in Some Times about the Selene data center. There's articles about the FC1 that are exploding. And the fact that you guys have acted quickly to get something on the books, I think is brilliant. Thank you for that. I have one disagreement, and that is that on the proposal for power purchase agreements that they could have with DTE, rather than producing the power on site for themselves. You know, I think it's kind of a scam. You can buy wind power from DTE, but you're paying a higher price for the electricity that's on the same infrastructure. So once it's on the infrastructure, it's being used, and this data center could be a huge draw on that infrastructure. So I would hope that you would talk about making any data center proposals produce 50% of their own power on site, or some percentage. I would like 50%, maybe you could come up with a different number. But I'd like to see some sort of relief from the infrastructure, because the more draw there is on the infrastructure, the faster it's going to wear out, the more problems our community is going to have, and that would be a way of isolating that component from impacting the residents. But well done. Thank you all very much for getting this done.
Well, they say they're purchasing it. The whole purchase creates a larger demand.
Right, but it's on the infrastructure that's already here. They're not putting in new infrastructure to buy that more power. They're using what's here, and that's what's going to get damaged. Maybe.
Yeah, it's hard when the MPSC controls things. Yeah. But thank you. Is there anyone else present who would like to address the Planning Commission on the data center ordinance? We'll move online. No. All right.
I'll move to close public hearing on
Okay.
data centers.
Walsh and Moore. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are, any opposed? Close the public comment at 7:10. And our third public hearing is on the renewables ordinance. And we'll open the public hearing. And Laura, did you want to just kick us off?
Sure. So for the public, we have been working on this since 2024. We put it on hold for about a year after we pretty much had this draft generally finalized and reviewed by the attorney due to the state and their regulating power that they were kind of forcing upon local government. And so we just thought this was a good time to resurrect it as part of the data center ordinance or high resource facility conversation, because they do kind of go hand in hand together. And so there were just a couple minor modifications that were made in this draft that are different from, I think, the last draft you saw. But they're all very minor, just tweaking language and ensuring we have the right references for some of the statutes. This particular ordinance is for large solar energy systems, energy storage facilities, and wind, all in one. And if you recall, we already did the section that talks about accessory buildings. That's already been adopted. It's still in here.
Thank you. All right, so is there anyone present that would like to address the Planning Commission on the renewable ordinance? We'll go online. No.
Move to close.
All right. Hyde, is there support? Okay, support Fletcher. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of closing public comment on the renewables ordinance, public hearing, sorry. Be good about that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're closed at 7:13. All right.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's Fletcher.
Thank you.
Okay, then we're moving along to our unfinished business, and that is site plan number 25010, Cribley Drilling, equipment and parking. The applicant will come forward, please. Welcome back.
Yes, thank you.
All right, and if you'd like to kind of update us on what's transpired since we were before us.
Sure. So a while ago, when we were before you last, there was discussion about the plantings. First of all, Joe Maynard, Washington Engineering, about the plantings associated with the neighbor, and making sure we get a good mix of quality evergreens and fencing that would not only be deer resistant, but also be able to grow in the area, because there's quite a bit of shade in the area, and it tends to, lower parts of some of the trees don't grow so well. So working with Laura's office and Lodi Farms and the neighbor, we found plantings that everybody seems to agree upon, a fence location as well on the property that's not on the property line, but kind of brought back a little bit, so it's between a lot of the evergreens. So you get trees on both sides of that fencing. We also made the other minor adjustments to the plan, pulling the parking out from the property line, providing the green space, required 10-foot green space back there as well. So we believe this time we've complied with all the requirements that were requested in the review letter, and ready to move forward. Get them planted.
Thank you for that synopsis.
Yeah,
Yes,
our-
do you want to go ahead?
Just our only remaining comment, this came before you on November 11th of last year, and just in my report, I noted that on November 20th, we met with Cribley and Joe and myself and the neighbor to talk through the plantings and the fencing, and so from there, that's where these modifications were made. And so our only remaining item to be addressed is that the Planning Commission consider waiving the hard surface requirement. And then Cribley Drilling will be on their way to the Board of Trustees to finalize their modifications.
Okay, thank you.
So, did you say that plantings have been approved? On page 2 of the plans, it lists Norway maples, which are invasive species in Michigan.
I had the landscape architect review them, so I don't remember what kind of tree they were previous. I have to go back through my email to ensure.
What's on page 2, is this the existing or?
That's probably the existing,
Okay,
yeah.
I understand. I took all mine out.
Just like all the Bradford pears that were planted everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, I understand now. Thank you.
Any other questions of the applicant or Laura? Thoughts on the waiver for hard surface?
It'll only be used for parking company vehicles and equipment, correct?
Correct.
Won't have continuous. I guess my biggest concern is the dust that might be generated. We tend to have a west wind, and it will take it away from the resident neighbor just to the west, but it doesn't sound like it'll be used as much as if people came in and pulled back out right away, so I'm not as concerned.
Yeah, go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say, remember this is asphalt millings, so you don't get as much dust as you do with a regular gravel parking surface.
Right. It does tend to compact too.
Yes.
And become impervious over time.
Over time.
Yeah, but it's all considered impervious, even if it's gravel.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Any other?
Do we have agreement from the neighbor?
Yeah. It was, I mean, could you, I assume they would be here if there was an issue, but yeah, I just want to make sure that, have you had a recent conversation or anything with them?
Yeah, we sent the plant list to them, we worked with them, they gave us Lodi Farms, who we worked with as well to get the plantings and the right mixture that the deer won't eat as much.
When was the last time that you communicated with them?
It was probably February, I think, last time we talked, because it took a little while.
I think that's the last time you sent me a tree list prior to submitting.
Okay. So it's been ongoing since the November?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, all right.
If there's an issue, they can always get the Board of Trustees.
Okay, all right. Thoughts on? Barbara?
I've got no problems with this.
I don't have a problem, yeah. Okay, all right, then we'll entertain a motion. Does someone want to?
It's all printed out for us. Who wants to read?
Okay.
Site plan 25010 Cribley Drilling. Based on the information received from the applicant reflected in the minutes of this meeting, the Planning Commission finds that the site plan meets the required standards and findings for site plan approval pursuant to section 36-180 of the zoning ordinance and recommends approval. The site plan is granted with the following conditions. The Planning Commission will waive the hard surface requirement in accordance with section 36-272I2. The concerns, well, are there any concerns remaining? in your letter?
I think it's just,
Yeah, I think it was just whatever permits they might need in Stacy's letter.
Then I guess concerns noted in the Township Engineers Review dated March 9th, 2026.
I'll support.
any additional discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Hyde.
Yes.
Brandt.
Yes.
Hindle.
Yes.
Fletcher.
Yes.
Walsh. Yes. Moore.
Yes.
Culbertson.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work.
Yeah, and thank you for working with the neighbor.
Laura, I'll reach out to the neighbor and see if I can get a letter from them before the board meeting.
Proposal board.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Sounds good, thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
All right, then we're moving ahead with our amended agenda. So next is possible action, CU number 26001, Quick Trip Corp, truck stop facilities and fast food sales. Right. Open for Planning Commission discussion. Yes.
Just to address Commissioner Moore's concern about it seeming that they were adding in the semi-traffic. I think it's appeared in all of the plans so far, and I was mainly concerned that somebody's going to find a semi going down a very narrow residential street. How are you going to get them back out? And so I think that it's been part of the discussion.
Okay.
They did say that they wouldn't expect very many.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I could be wrong, but, I mean, this all came up with the issue of the traffic and more trucks and more truck stops, so. I'm a big believer in majority rule. But I'm gonna just make my statement. If that, are we at that point now?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
I did not vote for the Heritage project because I felt like that was a huge project right on Baker Road. Too much for the rural character of that area. Too much traffic. Not even talking about Quick Trip Corporation truck stop. And then now we're going to add another truck stop, and I forget the woman's name who spoke out, but she pinpointed some things that I've never said in the meetings, but I sit there while the trucks can't even get on Baker Road. And that could be at the pilot where I'm behind them in line, the queue to leave, or it could be on Marshall Road where I'm behind a truck that can't hardly get out because there's traffic coming southbound and there's traffic coming northbound. It's a mess right now. And I will say that's about rush hour. Afternoon, starting at 3 o'clock, it gets pretty busy. And I just think that this is one more project that's going to create even more traffic. I don't have a lot of faith in these traffic studies. I've said this before. And because they okay all of projects, there's not a problem. But I know that we're looking at widening Baker Road because it's going to be a problem. And right now, these trucks come out on this, they can hardly clear the whole road before. So there's a lot of problems with it. I don't need a traffic study. I'm dealing with it, and I haven't lived there for 50 years, but I experience it. And I don't want to get into the seniority thing. It's a problem. I understand, Mr. Spicer, sorry. Spicer, I understand we have forced these people, they want this project, they want to sell their properties. They didn't want Heritage to move in there to begin with, and since we approved it, not me, they're left with trying to get out of Dodge so they can continue their life elsewhere. I respect that, I understand it, but We don't have to fight about that. We just kept a different opinion about it, sir. I don't think it's good because I'm going to be here for my community. I'm not moving. And I don't, I don't have any faith in any traffic study that says it's all going to be okay. We're going to be, it's not just what you're going to do today, because what you're going to do today has an impact on how we live tomorrow. And that's going to be 4 lanes or 3 lanes or 5 lanes of traffic, and perhaps a stop sign. And it's already a mess. It's already a mess. And I invite you to go down there. You can see it for yourself. You don't believe me. I'm not talking. I just was so happy this neighbor showed up because it's more than me talking about it. So I don't think it's good for the community. And for that reason, I'm not going to vote for the project. And quality of life issues with regard to one more fast food store for these seniors living next door. I think it is true, and I believe Mr. Spicer said this a long time ago at a meeting he came to, or maybe it was the developer, that Quick Trip puts out a good product. I have no doubt about that. I've seen their slides. I see the detail of which Mr. Evans presents about what they do and how they promote their employees, et cetera. I just think that it's not suited for the area. It's not good for the community in terms of the rural character, in terms of promoting quality of life. So, thank you for the time to speak.
Laura, can I ask a question that occurred to me? In your recommendations, the first section, for the conditional use approval, provide positive review of traffic study from MDOT. And then down below for the site plan, provide traffic study review by Washington County Road Commission and MDOT. How do we do both? I'm looking at this because I think traffic is on our minds.
So it fits in both spots.
Okay.
But, what I kind of said during my presentation, I kind of said the crux, the main issue is traffic.
Yes.
And MDOT is currently reviewing the traffic study. If MDOT does not have a positive review, then this problem kind of goes away. So I think it's perfectly acceptable if you were to say we want to postpone until we have the positive feedback from MDOT to ensure that they've reviewed it and they feel comfortable that the trucks and the passenger vehicles can be accommodated on this portion of Heritage Woods Boulevard and Baker Road. But because it's a conditional use, we can do that. But otherwise, we would do that during site.
Because I guess beyond traffic.
We haven't even seen the traffic study.
Well, but traffic's going to be
Sure, it's positive.
Well, no. For that area, traffic's going to be an issue because the master plan says mixed commercial highway or mixed highway, whatever. Mm-hmm. So we're looking from a master plan standpoint for something that's going to be a high volume item in that area, whether it's a truck stop, whether it's something else.
Well, even during the review of Heritage Woods, traffic was a major consideration, even just for passenger vehicles at this location.
And things that can come out of the traffic study is widen the road, all of those, it's not just, if it isn't just this can work. It's in order for this to work, A, B, C, and D need to happen.
So it's my experience in these I know that that's what's going to happen. You and I have talked about this outside of meetings as part of my concern. They don't get detailed. They just say it's efficient to handle the traffic. But not even seeing, usually we get a copy of the traffic study to even look at it ourselves. So I don't even know what the traffic study says. I don't know if it gets that detailed.
Laura mentioned we can postpone until we get something, and that's within our purview. I guess mine is, at some point, we're going to have something in there, whether it's this applicant or someone else that's high volume, because that's what mixed use
Yeah,
highway
we can't
commercial
come back
is.
now. You know.
But whatever, something is going to be in there that's going to drive a significant amount of traffic. I'm looking at it and saying, I like the clarification of 30 to 50 diesel customers, because that, I was thinking 30 to 50 semis, not diesel customers. I would, however, weight it and say it's probably 80% during the day and 20% at night or something. So we are going to see a higher volume of diesel users in the high traffic part of the day. Spreading it out over 24 hours isn't realistic. I think what they also have said is they don't expect to generate new diesel traffic, but on the other hand, as Rob Pattinson said, they are going to generate people coming for the food, because that's their selling point. And if I had inside look at their business plan, their profit is in the building. It's not at the pumps. So they may be pulling, but they'll also pull a few other people who are familiar with their product who say, oh, it's here, who might have otherwise driven by Baker Road. So I think there is going to be an uptick in traffic due to putting this there. I don't think it's truck. I think it's necessarily, or at least diesel semis. It may be box trucks. It may be people pulling a trailer. It may be people in their F-350s. But I think there will be an increase in traffic, if I had to guess. But I'm still at the point of, what else do we put in there?
So I would just point out that I was thinking about this earlier during the public hearing time on this, that the other truck stops, they differentiate where the trucks load up. You know, you can get diesel in the front at Pilot as a driver, but the trucks go around the back and load and pump their diesel. And that's why when Commissioner Hyde brought up what's the flow pattern, I was kind of intrigued to see what that looked like.
Yeah, that brings up a couple, if you would mind, one, is there diesel available for like automobiles? And then also, Mr. Spicer talked about the EV charging, and if I remember correctly, you didn't quite commit to the EV charging, or have you committed to the EV charging?
So we've committed to EV charging. I just can't, we can't put out what company we're using yet, because we have to get the approval for the conditional use before I can really go any further, into those things with those companies. But we are committed to at least 2 EV chargers. And again, that's one of those things that if the company wants to put more in, we will work with them to be able to put more chargers in. But it's the other company that's going to be financing that. They're getting the benefit from it. It's just we're providing the space for them to really do it.
You're going to clarify that before you come in for site plan approval?
So, yes. So once we get the conditional use, I can start working on those components, and then as we come in for site plan approval, those will be hatched out, at least in the beginning stages, knowing how many of those would be available and kind of the timeline for that aspect.
And the type.
Yes.
Level 1, level 2, level 3.
We only do level 3s. We only do level 3 chargers with whatever company we go with. That just matches our business model a lot easier.
Get people out of it.
In and out.
Yeah.
And then, what was your first question? I apologize.
Oh, it had to do with the diesel for cars.
Yes, thank you. So yes, there is diesel available up front. The thing with the diesel in the back is it allows for like the trailers to come in, because the pumps are close together. So if you block multiple pumps, unless you're in the back where the bays are a little bit bigger.
So you do have the option of.
Yes, that's
so
correct.
Cars wouldn't have to go. With
Correct.
pumps.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to clarify.
Thanks.
Yes. Go ahead.
So this is just a comment and an observation. For this property, this area, I don't see that trucks, semis are the issue. I think it's compounded by what the township does in where we put very dense housing, for example, Woodview Commons, those people are using that entry to I-94. Now we're looking at Ember Grove, which also dictates that the car traffic is going to come through there, and maybe the traffic studies don't look at it holistically, but it's something that the township must, but essentially we've already crossed this road, right?
So a question for Laura, with the traffic studies and so forth, can we somehow ask about because of those developments?
This is really a question for Stacy.
Stacy?
Go ahead. I'm not sure I'll have an answer tonight, but I will at least try.
So you heard Kathleen, which I think is a really important point, because I don't know with the traffic studies what they take into account, and certainly that intersection, because of the both Heritage Woods and Woodview Commons, Ember hasn't. That one?
Ember Grove?
It hasn't been approved, but
yeah.
You just might as well anticipate that
I don't know if they can
anywhere where the
anticipate it, but it would be
sewer
nice
and
if
water is, that's where we're
exactly, the development
targeting.
is going to happen. And so, so part of that is, what they take into account when they're doing their traffic study.
Yeah, so these studies aren't my specialty, but I do believe that they'll take in all existing surrounding development. So like Woodview Commons should have been incorporated into this study since it's already existing. Mm-hmm. Heritage Woods, similar, although it's not fully built out yet. It's ongoing. Ember Grove probably won't be considered necessarily just because of the timeline and where they are in the process. The Quick Trip team may be able to look into that data if that's something that the Planning Commission would like to see, but that's still kind of preliminary, so it's hard to say if it would be included or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in the review of the, if you could, we will ask that question again when we see the traffic studies. I think that's important to understand what the parameters were in creating.
I thought I heard you almost ask if we can make suggestions to MDOT in their study. Is that possible, Stacy?
I don't believe so. I mean, you could certainly express your concerns and at least put it on the record, but I don't know. I would defer to them on how much input they take from the community and other aspects other than the study itself, if that makes sense.
What I think I'm suggesting is this is happening because of the desires of this township. The township has a plan to build out these areas. It's self-inflicted.
It is.
Yep, the infrastructure doesn't necessarily support the growth. Yeah, go ahead.
But there are uses that they have different traffic capacities and maneuverability. So remember, this is a conditional use. And so I was just going to remind as kind of a last thing.
Yes.
You can place reasonable conditions upon this use. That could be any number of things, and this is probably not what Skylar wants to hear, but you could limit the number of diesel fueling stations. You can say you don't want trucks staying overnight, that trucks cannot idle. I mean, there are things as part of a conditional use that you could state as conditions of approval as well.
So how many lanes for diesel fueling of larger vehicles, box trucks, semis, whatever?
There were 7.
I think there's 5 on there. The 2 outside pumps, they don't have the dual.
They don't have dual.
Yeah,
so
they
5.
don't have the dual, so it'd be 5. Yeah.
Seems like a lot for the anticipated volume of 30 to 50 per 24 hours.
Do I see the two, I see smaller boxes on the outside lanes, but I think I also see a smaller box on the second from the eastern end. So it looks like there's 3 large ones and 3 small ones.
Yeah, so the as you're looking at it, the 2 outside lanes on the left side and the right side, those are not dual-sided pumps, right? So it would.
That's it, though. That's all that's not dual-sided.
Correct. So the way I typically count it is I look at the lane and I count the lane as 1 because people fill up on both sides whenever they've got like box trucks and stuff like that because they've got bigger fuel tanks in there. They're able to fill up on both sides.
Yeah, there's 7 lanes, that's right.
7, yeah.
But I think we're actually focusing on the wrong thing. Regardless of when the trucks come in. It's what's the throughput? Because if we focus just on the trucks and it's, maybe it's 5 or 6 during the day per hour, there are a lot of cars going in. It's not trucks, it's the throughput of vehicles. And I think if they revealed, there's going to be more at breakfast, lunch, and dinner because the real draw is the restaurant for a lot of their customers. There are going to be people like us, as Rob mentioned, that are looking because the price is slightly cheaper than somewhere else. But for Quick Trip isn't any different than most the profits in the store. And I think you mentioned at one point, but I can't remember, what's your throughput per hour estimate total?
For
gas, diesel, people visiting the site.
So we are a private company. I can't publicly state that stuff, but I can get you guys some information as long as it's kept to you guys. But I can't publicly.
Okay, no, but again.
Public is public.
Public is public.
The estimate is.
We can't restrict the information.
There's going to be significantly more gasoline vehicles coming in. So I'm not overly worried about the number of diesel fueling bays because I think the fact that they're revealing their estimates is that's not the base. It's an additive that helps get their
My reaction
profitability.
is just like a cat with a laser. She said it and I went for it.
Right. The real volume, and MDOT hopefully has a number, is going to be the overall throughput.
And the traffic study should have
A reasonable estimate for it.
for all of the traffic
Yes.
coming to the site.
And I believe it also goes out to 2040, 2035 or 2040 as far as like predictability, the predictability model for trip generation throughout the next several years.
So I understand the concern about the occasional semi going into Heritage Woods and having to loop around. I don't think the number of diesel bays or trucks is really the heart of the matter. And
It's
to be
the
honest,
overall traffic.
yeah, to be honest, I'm generally for this, but I don't want to say yes tonight until I see something from MDOT.
Another question about MDOT. Is MDOT responsible for the cycling of the light that's going to be placed at the...
That's a Stacy question. Who controls the light at the intersection? Is that MDOT?
Yes, I believe it's MDOT, given the off-ramp.
That's what I thought. And so therefore, are they considering the traffic and the backup of traffic on the new boulevard? I would think that they have to take that into account, and so that they don't stack too far, they'd have to cycle the light quicker.
I think they are. I mean, I think, and Stacy can correct me if I'm wrong, they did the same thing for just the Heritage Woods component.
So they're going to be taking into account the number of vehicles that they are predicting coming out of the boulevard as well, which is going to have Quick Trip and Heritage Woods vehicles backing up at that light, and they'll have to adjust too soon. So that'll be taken into account when they give their report.
I think I would say, I think the car traffic in that area already is significant. Forget the trucks. It's truck stop area. The car traffic is significant. That's how people get from Dexter to the freeway. Dexter is growing. It's not shrinking. They're trying to steal. We know that. So, well, they are. So, yes, the truck traffic it's challenging
You're right.
in the area. I live on Z Road. I know about gravel truck traffic. The entire almost 50 years we've lived there, there has always been a gravel pit open. It sucks. So I feel for you guys who are saying the trucks, but I live with it every single day. And they'll start waking me up around 4 o'clock in the morning because they're not supposed to, but they're in a different township. So there's nothing we can do about it in our township because Lodi doesn't care. They're on the northern edge of Lodi heading into Scio. Putting up the signs, which it took forever to get the signs with the engine braking. Are there signs out there now for engine braking on Baker Road?
No.
Because if there's not, that's something to think about. The noise from that engine braking is enough to make you want to lose your mind.
Yeah.
Jake braking, whatever you call it. But I can't think of anything else that can go in this space. Everything, if it's going to be successful, is going to attract traffic. And putting in that Heritage Woods, how many hundreds more of cars are going to be in there? And I don't know that this Quick Trip is going to draw that many semis because they're not offering the amenities across the freeway. They're not going to allow overnight parking. They aren't going to have the hookup for AC and heating, showers, laundry, truck repairs. Hopefully, big rig wreckers aren't going to be towing a truck to them that breaks down that needs to go and be serviced. So I don't know what else to
Towing it
do.
right back out.
Well, hopefully, yeah. Don't offload it here. Love it on down the road, as my nephew says. But I don't know what else we can put in there that's going to make anybody happy. It's going to be tremendous traffic. I feel for you, Kim. You know what? In the morning, in that Montessori school, which is in Lodi Township, right on the border, my friend lives across the street from it. So those of us that attended the roundabout meeting with the road commission, we've got 2 townships and a lot of unhappy people. And you know what? Nobody cares. It's going to go in anyway. But the traffic, it can take me more than 10 minutes to get out of my driveway in the morning. If it's after all those people have dropped their kids off at school. So if I have an appointment at the wrong time of the morning, you better get going about a half an hour early because you're going to need to sit there, and at some point, you just have to pull out in front of people. They lay on the horn, and it's the same problem in the afternoon, the rush hour times. There's nothing anybody's willing to do about it. There's nobody to enforce it. The vehicles will try to pass. We've almost, just turning in my driveway, you'll have people passing on your left with your turn signal on, slowing down to pass. So, and I don't want it to turn into 4 lanes there or 5. That would be awful. So what I'm saying is, but what you just said, Kathleen, we kind of did ourselves in with the way that whole area is now zoned. I think that they're probably one of the better offers that I see coming along. And if Heritage Woods isn't going to mind more traffic and more noise from large vehicles, then let the property owners go and get something in there that has a chance of being successful.
Can I say something? Just a very brief thing. I voted for that change in the master plan that rezoned those properties, the Sloan and the Heritage, stupidly. And I'm never going to make that mistake again. Now, I probably would have been the sole no vote. I regret it, but that's all I wanted to say.
Interpretation then. If we take this forward and I note that part of the conditions is items in the planning report, that includes a positive MDOT. So in a sense, we wouldn't have to wait to see it, assuming it's positive.
Sure. So
as evaluated by you, Stacy, and the appropriate people in the township.
Sure. So there's 2 ways you could go about it. You can recommend approval with the conditions, and MDOT could be one of those, would be one of those conditions. or you can postpone action until you see the positive response from MDOT.
If we do it with condition, I mean, if we do it by saying it's conditioned upon, and we approve it, what happens when the study comes in late and we've already approved it and the Board of Trustees has?
Well, it won't go to the Board of Trustees until they have it.
Oh, okay, so. if we
We're
put-
recommending body.
We put a condition on it, it doesn't go forward.
It
It has
won't,
to have a positive.
it won't go forward until the conditions of this meeting and any other modifications to the plan need to happen to go to the board. So if one of the conditions is the MDOT report, it won't go to the board until we have the positive MDOT report. If the MDOT report comes back and it's not positive, then we meet and we talk about what that means and how.
I just want to say, I really want to see that traffic study because I want to see it for a bunch of different reasons.
I don't know why we don't have a copy of the traffic study.
Well,
So-
and the
It
MDOT
hasn't
stuff.
been-
Yeah, I mean, I want to see it because I think it's important for us to understand that area. And what happens if it doesn't go, this doesn't go forward, what does it mean for other petitioners that may be coming? It will help us understand what at least the traffic reports are saying.
And I'd like to see a condition that they need to put up the township ordinance that those no engine braking signs for the relief of everybody in the area. It's not a guarantee and there's nobody to enforce it legally, but at least the sign is there. And some of those drivers maybe will pay attention to it. So that's a condition I would like to see.
Can we put that on the applicant, or is that going to be on the road and it's really Washtenaw County?
I think it'd be the
MDOT?
road commission probably, or MDOT.
It would be MDOT.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think we can make it part of this because it's not in the applicant's control.
But they could, yeah, could request MDOT.
I see a hand raised.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, I just have one question because I would like clarification on what you guys see as a positive traffic study. So traffic studies don't come in as positive or negative, they come in as recommendations, right? So if they're saying that there's too much traffic, they would recommend that we add a turn lane or an additional lane or whatever the recommendation would be. It's not, this is going to work or this isn't going to work. So I just want to make sure that I understand what you guys are looking for as far as a positive
They're not
recommendation.
going to kill the deal, in other words.
Well, I mean, I see a positive recommendation being recommendations that you can accommodate. I mean, it's going to be up to you to work with MDOT. If it is winding Baker Road and a bunch of other improvements, Quick Trip's going to have to provide those improvements. And so positive to me means they say they can recommend it with these improvements, and Quick Trip has agreed that they can do all of those. And if you can't do all of those, then that means there's a modification to the application, and that's kind of the reason why I think I would recommend postponing, because what if the layout changes based upon the recommendations of MDOT that could change the condition, could change the conditional use that you're asking for, right? I mean, maybe it's less of something, but if it changes how driveways on Heritage Boulevard, I mean, there might be other things that might change that this application needs to be modified in some way.
I move we postpone.
A second.
Yeah. Can you please have some conditions for the reason of postponing?
Yeah, no, I think that's really important. And, yeah. Okay.
Would you consider a friendly amendment, Commissioner Fletcher?
There is a postponement motion on the back of your sample motions. The postpone table.
Okay, does someone want to make a motion?
Sounded like two someone.
You want me to do it, Ms. Fletcher?
We just like seeing
Move to table the conditional use Quick Trip to allow, move to table the conditional use number 26001, Quick Trip, to allow the applicant to respond to the comments discussed tonight by the Planning Commission, including the following. items outlined in the planner's report dated March 27, 2026, items outlined in the engineer's report dated March 13, 2026. I would add that Quick Trip provide a copy of the study to the planning commissioners, and that we, until we, and that the postponement is based upon receiving the MDOT reviews of the traffic study. Anything else?
I thought it was more extensive, a positive.
Oh,
I think
do we want to say that?
No, because then we can act on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we can take
And
action.
then also the update the flow, provide the flow.
What's that?
Provide the turning templates.
That would be a good time to see
Provide.
that, when we see the traffic pattern.
And also, like, wouldn't that include it's called the circulation, I think it's called the circulation.
Site circulation.
Within the site.
Yeah.
Yes, so that'll include truck turning movements, car turning movements, and the stacking for the vehicles.
And I'm assuming this is all the way from the intersection, the light, into and through the boulevard.
Yes, yeah, so what we show is from Baker through Heritage Boulevard, through the Loon, around the site, and then out back to the light.
So somebody could help me with the language, the receipt, until we get receipt of the MDOT review, a positive receipt. Somebody said they wanted that in there.
I don't think we need that.
Provide the MDOT study to the planning commission and provide a turning template.
I think it's more than that. It's a site circulation from
Slash.
Baker through the development and out.
That's right. And if it's not a positive study, then we'll do one thing, and if it is, we'll do possibly another.
They can make it positive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So second.
Support?
Support from Hyde. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Walsh, yes. Fletcher.
Support, yep.
Hindle.
Yep.
Moore.
Yes.
Brandt.
Yes.
Hyde.
Yes.
Culbertson.
Yes.
Motion to table carries.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you all, appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Then. Okay. Moving on to possible action, data centers. I just wanted to, address, I know, Rob, you had a question about the My Green Power sort of renewable piece. Yeah, and I did want to address that because it's true that the infrastructure that carries the power needs to be there, or, is important, and they have to pay for those upgrades. That's a part of the MPSC ruling. However, it's not totally clear, how this will evolve over time, right? And so one of the things about the My Green Power is it does have to be additional, and it does have to be in Michigan. So that's, part of that is positive. I think your suggestion about the 50% being on site.
We have 100% in our draft.
Well, we have 100%
renewable.
100% renewable
on-site
for the process, not necessarily on site. Okay, so one of the things that the on-site renewables does, then it also puts them into a much larger footprint. And we're also dealing with 3 different types of data centers from a scale standpoint. And part of it is there are, with the accessory data centers and so forth, those are smaller. They're, in office buildings. They're, even one that's under 25,000 square feet may, would be a building that, then my concern are the big ones. And the big ones, it would almost, it would mean they couldn't site themselves basically in an industrial zone in Scio if you required that. And so I don't know if that would get into exclusionary zoning.
So we're dealing with like this, trying to be as restrictive as possible, but not excluding the use. Because we can't, right? Because we learned a lesson from Scio Township, right? They didn't have an ordinance. Now, they went to court. They didn't have any regulations. It's being built. And so while, the legislation for the moratorium has not passed to my knowledge yet, so that's why, we were moving quickly, trying to not only encompass large-scale data centers, but other high-resource facilities we don't even know about yet. I mean, anything that is a high-energy user, high-water, high-electric, sewer user would fall under this category, even uses in things we don't even know yet. And this is an ordinance that can be amended at any time. So once this gets enacted and something else starts coming on the fringes, then we know we need to work to amend it. But I've been told, and I think it's important for the township to continue to move this forward. I also think it's important to say we have not been approached by any applicant for any type of data center, period, in Scio Township. So we're really ahead of it here.
Because one of the problems in Saline was they did not have an ordinance.
Right.
And they took them to court because they wanted, so make a long story short, we want to make sure we have something in place. We're not saying it's okay, we don't want them, but we can regulate them.
And we are, this is a very restrictive ordinance. This is very restrictive.
It's okay with me. We don't, you've said this many times, Jan, we don't even have that kind of large property where they would be interested in coming into Scio, but the farms were not.
Yes, because north is like 100-acre tracts of farmland that could catch somebody's attention.
Right, but they're not near infrastructure. They're not near high voltage lines. There are other infrastructure criteria that these places are looking at.
And I think what's important is it also does the battery storage facilities. I think we have a higher likelihood of a battery storage facility because of the ITC lines.
Right.
So that's another reason to have the ordinances in place, because it may not be a big data center, but it could be a battery storage facility.
This just gives us a better negotiating position.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the clarification, Dan. Thank you.
So what do we need to do? Recommend that this gets passed to the board?
Yeah, this is a recommendation for adoption of the high resource demand facility data center ordinance to the board.
Are we?
Yep.
All right. So we'll entertain a motion.
I think Laura just said it. No.
I can't make the motion.
Okay, I copied what she said.
And I'll second it.
So I guess what we're saying is that we recommend that this be approved, that we recommend that it be sent to the board for their consideration.
Well, you recommend approval.
Approval.
Yeah.
We'll just say, because I already wrote Kendall and Fletcher down, that Laura agrees with that statement.
Okay. So Fletcher, support? Fletcher.
Yep.
Hindle.
Fletcher support.
Who made the motion?
Hindle, Fletcher.
Oh.
And Fletcher seconds.
All right. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
We're going to start. Hindle.
Oh, geez, how am I going to vote?
Yes.
Walsh, yes. Fletcher.
Yes.
Brandt.
Yes.
Moore.
Hyde.
Yes.
Culbertson.
Yes.
Motion carries
Right.
7-0.
And thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Yeah,
Yes.
I worked very, very quickly too.
All right,
Got that done.
and renewables. Renewable energy ordinance.
We're looking for the same recommendation as the last one, that you would recommend approval to the Board of Trustees and that they would adopt it.
Is there a discussion on any of the elements?
We spent a lot of time on that.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Someone.
A motion?
I recommend the renewable energy ordinance go to the board trustees to be approved.
I'll second that.
Okay. Kendall Fletcher? Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote, please.
We'll start this time. Walsh, yes. Moore.
Yes.
Culbertson.
Yes.
Hyde.
Yes.
Brandt.
Yes.
Kendall.
Yes.
Fletcher.
Yes.
Motion carries.
It's here.
Shit, there's the rain.
It's here.
Oh, terrific.
What was that?
That's the
Wind.
That's the wind?
Yeah, it's blowing through right now.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Well, we have another half an hour, because
Yeah.
Laura drives 40 minutes, so we're not gonna get wet.
I don't know.
I wanted to blow over. Okay, thank you, everyone, and thank you, Laura.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. Then,
Are we gonna deal with massage ordinance now?
we
Or
actually
the
have the
green-
green infrastructure workshop discussion.
What are we looking to get out of this?
Well, I think, I guess, Bob, did you have a couple of
Well,
comments?
what I hope to get out of this is the beginnings of us incorporating this into our thinking for the master plan discussion. So that whatever we take from this doesn't go anywhere unless it gets into the plan. So what people, and this is not the end of the discussion, it's going to take place during master plan approval or, development. So,
I don't want to interrupt you, but the Huron River Watershed Council talked about next steps, and I wrote them down. So they were interested in feedback on this plan. They wanted it left out at Township Hall. Did we do that? They wanted to leave out the maps at Township Hall so that people could see and it was visible.
I wasn't aware of
It
that.
was just kind of hung up here for
It was on the wall with blue tape behind that.
And it's not, oh, it's still there. The blue tape's there. Okay.
Can't see it, but.
No. They wanted us to review ordinance and policy recommendations. We were going to use it for the master plan process, which we're going to start next week, and then changes and other assistance that they might be able to assist with. So as we look through this, I think we should be thinking about those things. If there's additional feedback that we want to give them and how, Bob's exactly right, how we want to incorporate some of this into the master plan. And, probably then into the open ordinance.
It's
So
the
the master
open.
plan has to come
Exactly.
first, and then we'll finalize our open ordinance.
Right. Make a plan.
And I have a question about the mapping to understand that, because I think one of the things that's really important is the impact on the properties. Because, and the recommendations, I think, what I really liked about the recommendations are, the looking at what the expanding the wetland buffers. The other one was looking at, and this is the tree mitigation ordinance, and how do you put more emphasis on woodlots and continuous woodlots in that ordinance, that a tree isn't just a tree, but a woodlot is much more valuable from an ecosystem service standpoint than individual trees.
And when you say wood, you mean a wooded?
Yeah, a woodlot, meaning,
A wooded lot.
a woodland.
The whole area rather than individual
Yeah,
trees.
and the idea of looking at those continuous corridors and so forth, I think there's a lot of value in that.
Well, I have not played a role in the Parks and Preservation Plan, but I would think that some of that is already in there. And so even, without doing a lot of work in the master plan, by referencing the other plans that we've done and including them, but by reference, we don't always have to redo what we've already done. And so.
So the idea, so like where I live, I have woods around me. And that's not true on the planning commission. We don't think about, we think about preservation of trees, but we don't think about preservation of woodlands. And some of that is that's where they go in, they take it down, and then they put some other trees in. But and that's where the sites and the hubs. So I think there is. I'm not so sure, but I'd be happy if they've done that work. I'd be happy to learn from them.
Well, I also think, though, looking at areas that have been planned for development are different, and we talked about that, and they talked about that in their presentation, than areas that are not planned to be developed, and they're rural. So I think there are a couple of wood lots that have been planned for development, and they have been planned that way for a long time. So but they're adjacent to infrastructure. They're in a location where it makes sense to develop them. And so I think you need to think about the priority of, okay, maybe we're going to lose, like Parkland Plaza, for example. Maybe we're going to lose the 8 acres of woodlands that are there on a site that already has water and sewer capability, and it's been planned to be developed, where we can save a 50-acre woodlot somewhere else in the township. And we can increase that's contiguous with other things, and we can increase the wetland buffer, and you have to have some context about what's a priority and what isn't.
No, I agree with all that, but I think there's value in saying we don't want to lose all the woodlands. We don't want that. We don't want that development. We don't want development that bad that we're going to lose.
Keep that thought when we were doing the master plan discussion.
Well, because once it's gone, it's gone.
But I think it's really important. That's why I do want to get down to impacts on specific pieces of property, because that's where those discussions I think are important. And there's also the priorities of the low, high, and medium priorities. So I think that's a really robust discussion that we need to have, and to have it with the Board of Trustees. Yeah, because I think that would benefit. I think it would benefit and clarify.
What about the owners of the property too?
But I think the master plan covers that, because, the township is basically bisected by Jackson Road / I-94 corridor.
Right.
So we're really talking a green, rural, north and south of it, because you're not going to have a corridor across that. It's just not possible.
Well, I hope that's not exactly true.
The point is that if you're going to have if you're going to really, set things in stone, you should contact the homeowner or the property owners also, and not just make these decisions. Yeah, they should have some say here too.
I think they will, because.
But they're not active.
No, I think that we need to have incentives for cooperation with the plan, and if you enhance your property in certain ways, then you get extra points. I don't know how we do it.
Right.
But I do think that that's a point of discussion. How do we incorporate this into our ordinances? It's not, first we make a plan saying what we would like to preserve, but then how do you actually do it? That doesn't tell you how to do it, the plan.
Yeah, and I think, and Laura, maybe you could talk about this too, is there's also impacting someone's development rights.
Yeah, that's
which is that point, and that does have to be balanced with
right. That's really what I'm saying. There are areas that already are adjacent to infrastructure that have been planned to be developed, and so taking away, saying all of a sudden now, after 30 years of it being planned to be multifamily, Parkland Plaza, for example. And now it's in a woodland buffer conservation master plan, could be a problem for us.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, you just have to keep thinking because it's doing this, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta make some calls, but I mean, I get all those competing issues, I do. And I think one of the other things I've been trying to say with this, particularly these large complexes, there should be playgrounds, parks put in there.
Some green space, yeah.
Some green space. You know, and I hit I'm feeling the pushback, but I'm still gonna come there. Maybe it's not the $2 million park that Pittsfield has over Oak Valley, which is stunning.
It's a township park.
The developments.
I understand.
It's a township
I
park.
understand, but I'm saying, and the point is well taken. I mean, and so I was just thinking about the other day is that maybe we think of other, I mean,
Well, like that
they
property
can
on
put in-
Jackson at
Parker, the
where you
Pulte-
had said, you know, are you
Pulte
gonna put any type
Yeah,
of a playground
Yeah, they're
area?
gonna put in a piece of,
And
you know.
Yeah.
I think the
I-
person
I-
was like, oh, well, you know, nobody's gonna use it. Well, if there's kids, they'll use it if you've got it.
And we're going to talk about this next week, because we're going to talk about what the current population is, how old the current population is. I mean, some of this we have to think about. When your median age is in the 40s, and as opposed to in the 30s, there's a different population, and so there aren't as many young kids in Scio Township right now. So those are things we're going to talk about as we talk about the master plan, what our current status is, our community profile.
we know that we're an aging population.
We're an aging
So my
population.
question to you is, do we have a sense of who's moving in to these larger
Well,
parks?
as-
Are there one child, two child families?
We'd have to talk to SEMCOG about what their statistics are, but that's all part of what we're going to talk about next week. And, you know, just to get a little bit ahead of ourselves, this is going to be a general conversation. This is a first conversation, right? We're going to be talking about the goals and if they still apply, and we're going to do some voting so we can kind of narrow down the areas that we want to focus on. So,
How she tackle it.
anyway.
But I thought that, I don't know, I think from a feedback standpoint, I think, you know, probably it gives us a lot to work on with the master plan, and I do think the specific recommendations we want to look into, you know, not promising that, yes, we'll adopt them, but I think they spent a good amount of time coming up with the good recommendations that we can take seriously.
Right, and there's
So-
somewhere to start. We've
Right.
gotta have somewhere to start. because
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just plain overwhelming.
And we started a list a couple years ago, Jan. You remember, because things kept coming up and we said, we need to start making a list. And you were making, if you can check.
Yeah, we still have that list of the ordinances that
okay.
we were working, we've chunked a bunch of them.
No,
So-
things for the master plan, changes for the master plan.
Oh, yeah, oh,
Remember we started, because things were coming up and it related to the master
Yeah.
plan, and we needed to address it in that format.
We'll pull it
Need
up.
to come up.
Right, in all your free time. You search the computer for it and cross your fingers.
And I have my own list.
I'll check my
your
notes.
notes and so forth, yeah. Okay, yeah, because, and some circumstances have changed too, so. So looking forward to that, so,
We don't have the, I'm trying to think of the Preservation Committee, what is that?
Oh, LPC.
LPC, we don't have them invited to this meeting.
This is just the planning commission and the board.
But-
Because it's an initial,
they know that it's happening, and we've shared
Good.
the
This
report
pres-
and
this
the presentation with them, yes. And they know that the master plan piece is happening as well.
Could you pass my report down so everybody?
We already got it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
It's over here, the extras are over here.
So,
Sorry about the lateness.
maybe we just,
I like how this was included in the
Packet.
in the packet so that the public has it again, right in front of them, and I hope that they will comment on it.
okay.
I can be really brief about massage.
Yes.
Please.
please.
Go ahead and we'll do massage.
about
We'll get
that.
through this agenda. Darn
So-
agenda. Yes.
Before you have a
Move to
new
adjourn.
section of the zoning ordinance that relates to massage therapy regulations and definitions associated with that. We currently operate under a very antiquated general law ordinance that talks about massages, massage parlors, and requires a business license through the township. And we have 5 that we know of that have not received any approval. So in order to start getting everyone into compliance, we want to streamline the process and make it, put it in the zoning ordinance. This is very similar to what Scio Township has. Mariah has already looked at it, she's okay with it. So as part of adopting this ordinance, the general law ordinance will be repealed, I'm sorry. So I would just like permission to set a public hearing so that we can talk about this in May, probably.
Does anyone have any, yeah, we should probably have a motion to schedule a public hearing for the,
I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing to review the massage or the existing massage ordinance and potential changes.
oh, I think we have the new ordinance.
Oh,
We have the
sorry.
proposed ordinance.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll support that.
Okay, so. Okay, Brandt and Fletcher.
Yep.
Okay, to hold a public hearing on the proposed massage ordinance. Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Yay.
It was really quick.
Yes. Okay, then,
All the reports are in writing.
yeah, are there any reports that anyone has any questions about, or anyone who has?
Move to adjourn.
No.
Oh, whoa, we got public comment.
Yes, yes. Yes. So do give some thought to the food waste challenge and creating a planning commission team and a BOT team. All right, that was my.
We have to weigh our stuff?
No, it's just a week. It's 5 days. 5 days. Have fun. Anyway, all right. And
I walk out my backyard and put it in my bin.
That's what we
yes,
do.
well, that's
I do too.
that's fine. That counts.
Oh.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You get you don't have to dump off food waste here. It's all about
Yeah, I don't
reducing it, no matter what.
Period.
Got some rich soil.
Okay. There's one other thing I just wanted to note.
Gold, everything.
Yes, oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Chickens will take. Yeah, I know.
Okay. So, Bob, you're on for May.
I am, but I was reminded that,
Uh-oh.
by Kim saying that she wouldn't be here
Uh-huh.
for that one meeting. And, I'm gonna be gone for a week in May, so if it comes up then, I'm gonna have to call around.
Okay.
To cover those pre-app meetings.
Pre-app meetings,
Yeah.
and you're on, but
I
you're
might be able
spending
to
a week
cover.
away.
Yeah, I might be
Which
able to,
month?
so just let me know if
You're
as
on
much
for
notice
Tuesday.
as you can if it comes down to
It's
it.
coming to me at some
Will you
Yep.
both be
Yeah.
here on the 11th, though,
Of what?
May,
I
for the
will-
regular meeting?
No, I will not. I will be
I
in
will.
New Orleans.
I will be here for
Okay.
Okay, is anyone else perhaps not going to be here?
Jazzing.
Ooh,
Cool.
we want to be with you.
No, I'll be here.
I just am trying to look forward and just, we had 4 members that said they could, and then there was an emergency, and so we didn't have a quorum, so I'm just trying to, we do have public hearings and items coming the next several meetings in a row.
Yeah, so are there any other anticipated known misses?
I'll be calling it next week most likely, but
But
That's
for the
not gonna
regular
affect us.
meetings? Okay, all right. Yeah, so we'll start asking at our meetings too. All right.
For heads
So,
up.
okay, then we'll go ahead and, if there are no other reports, then open it up for public comment.
Okay.
Edson, Scio Township
You should
resident.
join the commission. I don't know what you're holding back for.
One thing that I am always assured of is that the Planning Commission always brings professionalism and thoughtfulness to your discussions, and I know a lot of people appreciate you guys and the work that you're doing, so well done and thank you.
Thank you.
Laura, tomorrow you've got a report for the Board of Trustees about PUD public benefits, and that you were working on with Kathy. So my question is that going to come to the Planning Commission first, or does that stay with the Board of Trustees?
So it is, what I put on the Board of Trustee agenda is basically a summary of what the PUD goals are in the master plan. It's just a summary sheet, like I have done for all of the other applications that are on the planning website for each conditional use, rezoning. I've done a similar summary sheet. There's just been a lot of conversation about what are community benefits, what's our list, what are we, and in the master plan, we already say what constitutes a community benefit. And all I've done is summarize it in the format that we would give to a developer, and Kathy asked that we provide that to the board.
Okay.
That's really it.
So what I understand of what you just said is that it gives them a place to start the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good, wonderful, thank you for that. Angela, thank you very much for the camera work that you do. You are the unsung hero of the Planning Commission. When I watch at home, you make it easy to follow the conversations because you're on top of the cameras, and very well done. Thank you. I highly suggest that you invite LPC, Liz and Lisa, to next week's meeting. Invite Murphy as Parks Director because she's got expertise. Liz and Lisa will have a lot of expertise in what's going on with land preservation. And Barry Lonick. I think he could have some creative input to that meeting.
I think LPC would have to invite Barry to it, right? Because he's their consultant.
Right, and this is just an initial meeting, so there's going to be a lot of other meetings. This is really just meant, of course they can attend, but this is really meant for the board and the planning commission just to prioritize, and then from there, there's going to be more.
Yeah, because there's a lot of public input that happens during the. Yes.
Well, we have to talk about what that means.
Yeah,
and
how we're going to do it
the last time.
Okay, fair enough. Well done. Thank you all tonight. Well done.
And thank you, Rob, for your ongoing
support and
comments and paying attention, all those things.
That's the right word.
Yeah. All right.
Pleasure.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, move.
Online?
Oh, sorry, online. Is there anyone online? No. All right, then I move to
Move to close
public comment by Walsh. Support by
The Bobs.
Hyde. Yeah, the Bobs. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public comment is closed at 8:28.
Go for it, Kim.
All right.
Move to adjourn.
Okay. Second. Moore and Hindle. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned at 8:28. I did not think we would get through this.
Recording stopped.
You guys